Well, Alex Hogan joins us now live from Jerusalem. Alex, I assume you've heard this Reuters report. I'm wondering if we have been able to confirm it independently at all.
Hi, David. So yes, there's an official statement coming from Hamas officials saying that they are delaying the start of the release of these hostages, citing they claim that Israel is not abiding by the conditions of the ceasefire. What they mean by that, they're arguing that there's simply not enough aid that is flowing into Gaza to give relief to the more than 1 million people who have been displaced. We know that within southern Gaza, there's been a growing number of civilians that have been displaced because of the fighting throughout Gaza. About 3/4 of the more than 2 million population are out of their homes because of the fighting. So Hamas has not given any clarity as to specifically how long this delay could take place, but that is what they are citing right now, that there needs to be more humanitarian aid sent in order for the release of these hostages. We had heard earlier this hour from officials in Egypt that they had started to see Hamas bring the hostages and start to transfer them to the Red Cross. Obviously, that has all been halted at this point as we will wait to see how all of this unfolds. This has been the main reason why Israel has not been releasing the specific names on the list of which hostages would be released, out of concerns that something could happen just like this, that there could be either a pause, an end to the ceasefire, which thankfully we have not seen that. But there's been a lot of concern, a lot of anxiety here on the ground that all of this could flip on a switch and we could stop to see the hostage release taking place. But it is worth noting there's still a major effort on both sides to see all of this unfold as the deal had been brokered, that there should be more humanitarian aid going into Gaza, that Israel would release 150 Palestinians in exchange for these 50 hostages. Those goals are still very much at the forefront of the minds of both parties. So we'll continue to watch this. We're also getting more images that are coming out now of at least the 13 Israeli family members and families who are together for the very first day. One little boy, a 9-year-old Ohad, right now he's actually not only having a party at the hospital with his friends, but he's also seeing the images and the photos, his parents showing him all the messages that he received while he was in captivity. So there's a lot unfolding at the same time. These are the images of all of the 13 hostages who have been released in the last 24 hours. So 13 other hostages, potentially 14, were expected to be on the way back to Israel right now. And what would have taken place, they would have been handed over to the Red Cross, made their way through the Rafah crossing, made their way back to Israeli soil, where they would go through those medical examinations before going to hospitals and finally be reunited with their families. A lot of hope on the ground that all of this will still take place. We'll have to wait and see to see how Israel responds to this. We don't have an official statement from Israeli officials just yet as to whether they will send in more humanitarian aid, if the aid that has been sent in so far is what should suffice. So we'll continue to monitor this here on the ground.
Very quickly, Alex, are you hearing from Israelis the suggestion that this could, on the part of Hamas, be a subterfuge, these issues that they're having with the next group of released, a subterfuge to simply delay military operations against them in Gaza by the Israelis?
Well, I think, and also you mentioned this with your last guest, asking, is Hamas using this to its advantage to try to reassess its forces, build back its strength? I think one thing worth noting, it is important to stress, just before the ceasefire, we did see both sides typically before a ceasefire will build up their military operations. And Israel said it wanted to make sure that it was known that it was able to destroy as many as 400 tunnels. So really taking out a lot of Hamas infrastructure to make sure that during this ceasefire, Hamas wasn't able to reassess, remove its forces, and reestablish itself. But one concern we've also been hearing on the ground, which is interesting to think of, with the unfolding of the whole scenario that we saw yesterday with the release of these hostages given back to Israel, that was all organized and delivered quite well. We saw everything go according to plan yesterday. And while that's a big win here for Israel, it was also seen as an obvious sign that Hamas is quite organized, which is the last thing that Israeli forces would want to see and the Israeli government would want to see after almost 7 weeks of this war, of trying to dismantle Hamas. So right now, we are seeing this potential delay. It is worth noting, yesterday, the hostages were not released exactly at 4 p.m. local.
Right.
There was a couple hours that it was delayed, and the goal is for that to resume any moment now.
Excellent reporting. Alex Hogan reporting from Jerusalem. Stay close, Alex. Thank you very much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.